Welcome to IB 360. In this video, we are going to solve IBSL 2019 November paper 1. So the first question is this. In an arithmetic sequence, U2 equals to 5, U3 equals to 11. Find the common difference. So first we will find the common difference. For any AP, for any arithmetic progression or arithmetic sequence, the common difference is the difference between the two consecutive terms. Here two consecutive terms U3 and U2 are given. So common difference will be U3 minus U2. Let the common difference be, let the common difference is D. So U3 minus U2 equals to D, or U3 is given as 11 minus U2 is given as 5 equals to D. So from here we can write D equals to 11 minus 5. So D equals to 6. So the common difference is equals to 6. Now we will need to find the first term. Okay. So first term is from second term we can get the first term. So U2 is basically nothing but U1 plus D, first term plus common difference. So from here we can write U1 equals to U2 minus D, or U1 equals to U2 is given as 5 minus D is 6. So U1 equals to minus 1. So the first term is minus 1. Now the third question, find the sum of the first 20 terms. The formula for sum is Sn. If we need to find out the sum for the nth term, sum till the nth term, then the formula is Sn equals to n by 2 into here first n by 2, then we need to complete u2 into u1 plus n minus 1 into d. So here Sn equals to sum till nth term, n equals to number of the element or term, then u1 equals to the first element, u1 equals to first element, then d equals to common difference. So from here you can get S of 20 is equals to n. Here n is 20. So first I need to write all the variables. So the value of the variables are, let me do it here. The value of the variables are like this: n equals to 20, u1 equals to minus 1, then d equals to 6. So S of 20 equals to 20 by 2 into 2 into minus 1 plus 20 minus 1 into d. This is the answer. So 10 into minus 2 plus 19 into 6. This is equals to 10 into minus 2 plus, if you multiply this, this will be 114. So 10 into minus 2 plus 114. So this value will be 112. So this value is nothing but 112. So equals to 1120. So sum of first 20 terms is 1120. This answer is 1120. This answer is minus 1. So all the answers are given. Now we will move towards the next question. The next question, here it is given from set theory. In a class of 30 students, 18 are fluent in Spanish, 10 are fluent in French, and 5 are not fluent in either of these languages. The following Venn diagram shows the events fluent in Spanish and fluent in French. So fluent in Spanish, let me change my pen color. so that you can understand it properly. So fluent in Spanish is this particular circle, and fluent in French is this particular circle, and n are the number of students who know Spanish as well as French, and Q here in the Venn diagram are those number of students, who don't know French as well as Spanish. So from here you can see that is 5 are not fluent in either of these languages. So obviously we can say Q to be 5. Q to be 5 as 5 are not fluent in either of these languages. So Q equals to 5. So the first question is done. Write the value of Q. So the value of Q is 5. It is directly from the question. From here you can see 5 are not fluent in either of these languages, so Q equals to 5. Now find the value of n. Obviously from how you will calculate the value of n, it is very simple. If we add these two circles, see here, if we add these two circles, the value is 18 are fluent in Spanish, 18 are fluent in Spanish, then 10 are fluent in French. So the two circle indicates 18 plus 10 equals to 28. The two circle indicate 28. So but here n will be twice, because if we add two circle, this is the M circle and this is the P circle, and this middle value is n. So basically M plus P plus 2n equals to 28, because for this two circle, for this circle this is M plus n, for this circle this is P plus n. So basically n is twice. Now as we have total 30 students, so total students 30. So M plus N plus P plus Q equals to 30. So from here we can get M plus N plus P equals to 25. So obviously if these are two equations, this is equation number 1 and this is equation number 2. So from here we are getting N to be equation number 1 minus equation number 2. So from here we are getting equation number 1, it is a value is 28 minus 25 equals to 3. So the value of n is 3. Here find the value of n, it is 3. The Q value is 5. Now we have to find out the value of M and P. For M circle, as you can see, the complete M circle, and here it is N circle. This is M circle, this is N circle, and this is N, and the value of M, that is fluent in Spanish, is 18. So M equals to 18 minus the common area, and the value of N is 3. So M equals to 15. This is one answer, and from here we are getting another answer to be P. So P equals to, that is 10 are fluent in French, so 10 minus the common, so these are the only, and here 7, so P equals to 7. This is also only, or we can say only Spanish, only French. So this is done. So value of M is 15 and P is 7. So this is done. Now question number 2 is done. Now question number 3. See, question number 3 is, let gx equals to x square plus bx plus 11. The points -1, 8 lie on the graph G. So if any point is lying on any graph, then basically the value is, here the x value is -1 and y value is 8. So basically for the x value, the equation is giving the y value to be 8, or we can say y equals to gx equals to x square plus bx plus 11. From here we can say y equals to x square plus bx plus 11. So here you can see y value to be 8 equals to x square plus value of, we will put the value directly here in this equation. So minus 1 whole square minus b plus 11. So we are getting 8 equals to 12 minus b, or b equals to 12 minus 8, or b equals to 4. So the first answer is done. Find the value of b, it is 4. Now the thing is, the graph of fx equals to x square is transformed to obtain the graph of g. Describe this transformation. For this you need to know something, that is we need to express the quadratic equation or quadratic polynomial in terms of completing the square. So the quadratic polynomial to completing the square. Let's see how we will do that. So here we will directly put the value, that is x square. The value of b is 4, so x square plus 4x plus 11, or we can say x square plus 2 into x into 2. Here I am breaking this particular value, so 2 into x into 2 plus, if you remember the formula, that is a plus b whole square. If we try to get this formula, a plus b or a minus b whole square, it will be a square plus minus 2ab plus b square. So the middle term is 2 into a into b. Here I am assuming 2 it to be b, so 2 square. Now this is the extra element in my equation, so I have to deduct that, plus 11. Now you can see this line and this line are same, x square plus 4x plus 4 minus 4 plus 11. So ultimately I am getting this equation. So from this value I am getting x plus 2 whole square minus 4 plus 11, so it is plus 7. So gx equals to, now this form is called completing the square. Now the thing is, here it is plus 2 and it is plus 7. So the shifting will be, or the transformation will be, along the vector, that is minus 2 by 7. Here the value, it is basically how you will get minus 2. It is basically, if the general form is, I am writing the general form, that is x plus a whole square plus b. If it is given like this, so the vector will be minus a b, or you can say it like to be, if it is x minus a whole square plus b, then you have to write it in this way, the vector will be a b. Or if it is minus in this constant term, that is x minus a whole square minus b, then the vector will be a minus b. Okay, so these are the samples that I have just given you. So the thing is, transformation will be along the vector minus 2 7, or you can say the shifting will be like this. If this is the graph of x square, this is the graph of x square. Let me tell you in more detail. If this is the graph of x square, then I will show it in the genuine graph. So if this is the value of the x square, then after shifting, the value will be, after shifting the graph of this x square plus bx plus 11, or x square plus 4x plus 11 will be in minus 2. So minus 2 here and 7 here somewhere. So now the graph is this. Okay, now the graph is this. So this was the graph of x square, that is fx equals to x square, and this graph is gx equals to x square plus 4x plus 11. Okay, so in this way, this is your x-axis, this is y-axis, and this is 0 0 comma 0. So this is about the graph question. So the graph of fx equals to x square is transformed to obtain the graph of g. The transformation, describe the transformation. The transformation is the vector minus 2 7, or minus 2 comma 7, you can say in geometrical form. Okay, now let me give you the clear demonstration of this. Till this the question is done. Now just see the Desmos. That is the first of all y equals to x square. This is just for your visualization. You will not get any type of calculator or graph in this particular paper. So just see the particular thing. This is y equals to x square, and y equals to, just see, x square plus 4x plus 11. So this is the graph. Here you can see the point is minus 2 comma 7 that we have deducted. That is along x-axis minus 2, along y-axis 7. So this is the shifted graph. This is the shifted graph. So in this way you can do this problem. Okay. So thank you for watching IB360. We will meet in next video. Thank you. Welcome to IB360. In this video we are going to discuss the number 4, 5 and 6 problem. So the number 4 problem is, consider 11a equals to 11 factorial divided by a factorial into 9 factorial. Find the value of a. This is a very easy question, but for this you need to remember the formula. The formula is nr bracket is equals to n factorial, the notation n factorial divided by r factorial into n minus r factorial. So this is the formula. Now we just need to put the formula here. That is, if it is 11a, then it is equals to, according to this formula, if we apply this formula here, then it will be 11 factorial divided by r factorial. So it is a factorial into n minus r factorial, that is 11 minus a factorial. So this is the formula if we try to apply it in our question. So from here we are getting, if we compare, this is equals to 11 factorial divided by a factorial 9 factorial. So from here you can see I am giving more clarification. This and this equals, these are equal. A factorial is equals to a factorial. So this part must be equals to this part. So for these I will do 11 minus a is equals to nothing but 9. So a equals to 2. This is the answer of the first question, that is a equals to 2. So find the value of a, it is 2. Now hence or otherwise find the coefficient of the term in x to the power 9 in the expansion of x plus 3 whole to the power 11. Okay. So this is one expansion. The expansion is telling to expand this x plus 3 whole to the power 11. X plus 3 whole to the power 11, where we have to find out the coefficient of x to the power 9. Okay. So for this we will try to find out the rth term, the formula for rth term. Formula for the rth term. So the, if we apply the formula, then it will be nr, then a to the power n minus r into b to the power r, where the it comes from the expansion of a plus b whole to the power n. So now we just need to compare all these equations, compare these two equations, and we will find out the value of the x to the power 9 from x plus 3 whole to the power 11. So here n equals to 11, we got that. Now r equals to 9, this also we have got. Now we need to find out the value of the coefficient of x to the power 9. We need to find out this. Okay. So for this, the formula I will write, see here, this part you have to see here. See the formula, that is t of r plus 1 is equals to nr a to the power n minus r and b to the power r. So from here the value of you can see the value of here, not this is not r, this will be the value of the coefficient, that is a power n, power 9. Okay. Now we will derive the r. So it is basically nothing but 11r x to the power 11 minus r into 3 to the power r. Now from this equation, we just have to give it a try, that is in this way. Here you can see it is just in the form, 11a, it is just in the form that we got 11r. So from here we can get, that is 11 minus r. From the previous equation we can write 11 minus r equals to 9. Just we are comparing this to equation. So this is basically r factorial. This is basically, just let me give you more clarification on this. So this is basically, it is 11 factorial divided by, from here you are getting r factorial into 11 minus r factorial. So it is 9 factorial. You can see it is 9 factorial. So 11 minus r equals to 9. So r equals to 2. We have got the value of r. Now the value of r is, here I am writing n equals to 11 and r equals to 2. So from here we have got that is 11 2, then x to the power 9 and 3 to the power 2. And also you can get the value of r from this equation, that is 11 minus r. This must be equals to 9. 11 minus r equals to 9 because the power must be 9. This is x to the power 9, the power must be 9. So from here we are getting this equation. Now the value of the coefficient is 11 2 into 3 square into x to the power 9. Now how we will find out the value of 11 2? So this is the formula that we need to apply, that is 11 factorial into 2 factorial into 9 factorial. So the calculation will be in this way, that is 10 into 11 divided by 2 factorial into 9 factorial into 9 factorial. So in for 11 factorial we have divided it in 9 factorial into 10 into 11. So we are cancelling out this. So the thing will be, here we will multiply it. So it will be 9 into 10 into 11 divided by 2 is equals to, this is 495. So the thing is, the coefficient is, this will be 495 x to the power 9. 495 x to the power 9. So hence or otherwise find the coefficient of the term x to the power 9 in the expansion x plus 1 whole to the power 11. The answer is 495. So in this way you need to calculate this. Now we will move towards the fifth question, that is, consider the function f with derivative f dash x equals to 2x square plus 5kx plus 3k square plus 2, where x and k belongs to R. Show that the discriminant of f dash x is k square minus 16. So first we will write, that is f dash x is equals to 2x square plus 5kx plus 3k square plus 2. We will write it in a proper way, 2k square plus 5kx plus bracket on 3k square plus 2. Now the thing is, if we compare this equation to a normal quadratic equation, normal quad equation, then we will get it is to be ax square plus bx plus c, where a is not equals to 0. This is very important to write for any quadratic equation to get. Now if we compare this to equation, this to be equation 1 and this to be equation 2, then we will get a is equals to 2. From here see, a is equals to 2. Let me change my color. This is a equals to 2, b equals to 5k, here it is, and c equals to 3k square plus 2. Now the formula for discriminant is, discriminant it is b square minus 4ac. Now b square, so b is 5k whole square minus 4 into a into c. So 4 into the value of a is 2 into the value of c is 3k square plus 2. So it is 25k square minus 8 into 3k square plus 2, that is 25k square minus 24k square minus 16. So it is k square minus 16. So the discriminant delta is equals to k square minus 16. It is done, proved. Now we need to prove the second part, that is given that f is an increasing function, find all possible values of k. It is an increasing function, okay? So find all the possible values of a. If any function, let me tell you, if any function f of x is increasing, that is, it is say for example, it is like this type of graph or anything like that, it is just trying to increase its value with respect to x, then it will be called one increasing function. Now for any increasing function, the first order derivative will always be greater than 0. Now from this equation you can see the equation is one quadratic equation. So the derivative, the first order derivative itself is one quadratic equation. So it can form this type of graph. The quadratic the f dash x can form this type of graph. This type of graph f dash of x can form this type of graph, or this type of graph, anything it can form according to the according to the value of k. But the thing is how it will form the graph, we will try to discuss. But the most important thing is it will not touch the x-axis. So for this f dash x to be greater than 0, the discriminant delta must be less than 0. The discriminant delta must be less than 0. From here you can see, from the graph you can justify it. So if the delta is less than 0, so k square minus 16 is less than 0. So you can see k square is less than 16, or you can from here, if the k square is less than 16, so we can write k is less than 4 or k is greater than minus 4, because the root over 16, it is basically plus minus 4. So after applying this, k is less than 4 or k is greater than 4, and if we combine these two, then we will get, that is minus 4 less than k less than 4. So this we can get. So the value of k, possible values of k are minus 4, less than k, less than 4. So this is the answer of the second question. I think it is also clear. So these two questions are clear. Now the sixth question, that is, let fx equals to 4 cos x by 2 plus 1 for 0 less than equals to x less than equals to 6 pi. Find the values of x for which fx greater than 2 root 2 plus 1. Here see, this limit is very important, that is 0 less than equals to x less than equals to 6 pi. This limit is very important. So just now we need to do a simple trigonometric calculation here, that is f of x is equals to from here we are getting 4 cos x by 2 plus 1, and the values of x will leave it from 6 pi. Now it is fx is greater than 2 root 2 plus 1, so f of x is greater than 2 root 2 plus 1. So from here we are getting 4 cos of x by 2 plus 1 is greater than 2 root 2 plus 1. Sorry, one thing, that is x by 2 is in bracket and plus 1 is outside. So it is x by 2 plus 1. So from the two sides I can cancel out this one. So I am cancelling out this. So 4 cos x by 2 is greater than 2 root 2. So I am getting cos x by 2 is greater than 2 root 2 by 4. So it is basically root 2 by 2 is nothing but 1 by root 2. How I am getting that? Root 2 by 2 is equals to root 2 into root 2 by 2 into root 2. So it is basically 2 by 2 into root 2. So I am getting 1 by root 2. So in this way it is now it is equals to cos x by 2 is greater than 1 by root 2. Now the thing is, when we are getting, if we are trying to find out any rectangular triangle, then you will get to know this fact. This is, if this is 1, this is 1 and this is root 2, then this angle is 45 degree, this angle is 45 degree, and for that particular triangle, cos of 45 will give you 1 by root 2. Cos of 45 degree will give 1 by root 2. Now from this equation we can get the idea that cos of x by 2 is greater than 1 by root 2. So the value is greater than 45 degree. It will have greater value than 45 degree. So For this we will do this calculation here, that is for x, here it is x by 2 is equals to pi by 4. From this image we can see, x by 2 is equals to pi by 4 for 1 by root 2. Then the values that x by 2 can fetch, it is 2 pi minus pi by 4 and as well as 2 pi plus pi by 4. So how I am getting this? If this is a 360-degree angle rotation, then if it is pi by 4, then the period, that is 2 pi, the cos period will be 2 pi. So again, after rotation of 2 pi, I will again have 1 pi by 4, and after rotating it again 2 pi, then in negative direction 1 pi by 4 will be there. So ultimately I am getting 3 angles. So basically it is nothing but x by 2 equals to pi by 4, and it is 7 pi by 4, and it is 9 pi by 4. So these are the critical values that x by 2 can have. So now from here we are getting, that is, if it is for x by 2, then for x it will be pi by 2, 7 pi by 2 and 9 pi by 2. This we can have. We are multiplying all the fractions with 2. So in this way we can get the value of x to be less than pi by 2, and again we can get another value, that is 7 pi by 2 less than x less than 9 pi by 2. So these two values we can get in the range of 0 less than equals to x less than equals to 6 pi. I guess it is less than equals to 6 pi. Yes, it is less than equals to 6 pi. So these two values, this is the number 1 value and this is the number 2 value. These two values I can get in this range where this condition is satisfied, that is 4 cos x by 2 plus 1 is greater than 2 root 2 plus 1. So in this way this problem is also solved. Thank you for watching IB360. In next videos we will discuss the later problems. Thank you. Hello, welcome to IB360. This is the next question, like question number 7 and question number 8 will be discussed in this video. So let's start with question number 7 first. So the question is, let x and y be normally distributed with x normal 14 and a square and y normal 22 a square, a greater than 0. So as you can see, here a square also and here a square, both are the variances are equal. It means the standard deviation is a for both the cases. Okay, now the first question is, find b so that px greater than b is equals to py less than b. Okay, so first if I draw the two, first I need to draw the graph or this particular portion. So let's draw it. Okay, so the first line is this. I am drawing it on a bigger line. You will understand why I am drawing this. And this is the upper portion. Okay, so this is for okay, just 1 second. So this particular is for x curve, this is for x curve, and again for y curve we need to draw another. So this is for x, and for y again I need to take another one. I am taking it like this. So these two are the graphs. This will be for x and this will be for y, and we are trying to draw. Okay, so let me change my pen color. So this is the graph for x, and this is the graph for y. Some minor distribution changes will be there because it is my hand drawing. So as you can guess, so this will be x and this will be y graph. This is the intersected region. Basically this intersected region, accordingly this area, this accordingly the according to the question, this particular area will be equals to this particular area at px greater than b equals to py less than b. So if this is the b point and this is now 14 point and this is 22, this is basically mu and this is also mu. I am addressing at mu1 and mu2, and this is the point b. Basically the drawing is some minor differences there, but basically as p of x greater than b equals to p of y less than b, so b must be the middle point of, it must be the middle point of 14 and 22. So in this sense, the B will be the midpoint of 14 and 22, somewhere here it will situate. But the thing is, as I am drawing by my hand, so that's why the some minor differences are there. So please pardon me for that. Um, Forgive me for that. Okay, so find B so that a P of X greater than B is equals to P of Y less than B. So this is the point where the two graphs are equal. Now I will write in this way: B equals to 14 plus 22 divided by 2. I am finding out the midpoint. So the particular theorem, if it is point A and it is point B, and C is on the midpoint of A and B, then C will be B plus A divided by 2, the average point. Okay. So from here we are getting 6, 3 and 2 equals to 18. So B is the 18th value. So the value of B is 18. Okay. Find B. So B equals to 18. We have found out this. Now the second thing is, it is given that P of A is greater than 20 is equals to 0.112. Find P of this. Okay. So I am doing it in this way. Just see this. First I will draw. It is a small complicated, I will say, but not that much. Okay, so first we will draw the graph for please understand this from the base, it will help you. Okay, so let me draw it. Okay, so and distribution will be along this side. So I am drawing this curve. Okay, so this is the distribution of P of X greater than 20 is 0.112. So if it is 14, because just we need to, we are drawing the graph of X, so that's why X normal n 14 and A square, so the this will be 14, that's why mu equals to 14. Now if it is 14, now locate 20, so 20 is somewhere here, and the distance between 14 and 20 is 6. Keep this in mind. So P of X greater than 20 is 0.112. So this area is basically 0.112. Now we are trying to draw the graph of Y. Okay, and then you will get it big. It will be clear for you. So I am trying to draw the graph of Y. Okay, so let's draw it. So this is the graph of Y, and the middle point is 22. Middle point is 22, that is mu, and here I have to find out 16 and 28. So somewhere 16 will be here. Here it is 16, and 28 will be somewhere here. So this is 28. But you can see the difference between 16 and 22 is 6. Again, difference between 22 and 28 is 6. And we also have noted down that the standard deviation of X is equals to the standard deviation of Y. It means the in same interval the probability will be same. Again I am repeating, in same interval the probability is same. The probability is same. Now you can see here, after 20 the probability is 0.112. It means the area of this particular portion will be from 14 to 20, like in 6 division, the area will be 0.5 minus 0.112, because we already know that from this point to here, the line will divide the probability distribution graph into equal parts. That's why this complete part probability will have 0.5 and this part probability has 0.112. So that's why probability from 14 to 20 will be this portion. So if you calculate this, so 0.5 minus 0.112, the probability is to be 0.388. Okay, now we just need to apply the same thing here in this graph. So for this six interval, that is the interval 6, the probability is 0.388. So from this portion to this portion, the probability is 0.388, as well as from this portion from 22 to 28, the probability is 0.388. So ultimately P of 16 less than Y less than 28, it is basically nothing but 0.388 into 2. So it is coming out to be 0.776 if you multiply it. So in this way, you need to find out the probability in between this particular gap. So the probability is 0.776. So this is also done. Now we will move towards the question number 8. Okay. Question number 8 is also a easy question, and just you need to have some basic knowledge and it will be cleared. Okay, so the question is, a small cuboid box has a rectangular base of length 3x centimeter and width x centimeter where x is greater than 0, and the height is y centimeter where y is also greater than 0. Obviously x and y must be greater than 0 to form a cuboid. Okay, so now this is 3x, this is x, and this is y. The first question is write down an expression for y in terms of x. The line before the question is the sum of the length, width and height is 12 centimeter. So it means 3x plus x plus y equals to 12 centimeter. Okay, so from here we are getting 4x plus y equals to 12. Now write down an expression for y in terms of x. So y equals to 12 minus 4x. This is the answer of the first question. For the first question A, the answer is done. Now the volume of the box is V centimeter cube. Before proceeding to this question, volume of cuboid is basically nothing but length into width into height. So this is the formula and we will apply this here. For B question, find an expression for V in terms of x. So volume, as I have already written the formula, length is 3x into width x into height is y. So it is basically 3x square into y. 3x square into y. Now for the B part, find an expression for V in terms of x. So we need to replace y in terms of x. That we have already done in the number A problem. So 3x square into 12 minus 4x. So this is the part and we just need to multiple this. So 36x square minus 12x cube. So this is the answer, that is 36x square minus 12x cube. So this is the answer for B. Find an expression for V in terms of x. So V in terms of x is 36x square minus 12x cube. Okay, now we will move towards find dv dx. So you have to you just note down this fact from next page, or like in this page also. Not from next page I am doing this. So expression for V we have found out to be 36x square minus 12x cube. This was the answer of B. Now we have been instructed to find out dv dx. So dv dx is equals to d dx of V. So we are getting d dx of the value of V is 36x square minus 12x cube. Okay, so the formula for this will be d dx of x to the power n is equals to nx to the power n minus 1. This is the formula that we need to use here. Okay, so 36x square minus 12x cube, so it is coming to be 36 into 2x to the power 1 and minus 12 into 3x to the power 2. So it is 72x minus 36x square. 72x minus 36x square. This is the value of dv dx. It is to be 72x minus 36x square. So find dv dx. It is also done. Now this question is find the value of x for which V is maximum. So basically we are trying to find out the maximum of this equation. So to get the values, we previously in some previous videos also I have discussed, to get the maximum or minimum value we just need to calculate the dv dx, or we can see V dash to be equals to 0. If it is to be 0, then we have already calculated, let me just give here the number, that is C, and for D1 we are trying to find out the result. So dv dx equals to V dash equals to 0. So dv dx is to be 0 for the critical points, and maxima, minima and inflation points all are in the critical point region. So to find out the critical point, we will need to find out dv dx to be equals to 0. So from here we are getting dv dx to be 0. So the point is 72x minus 36x square is equals to 0. From here we are getting 72x. So just we need to calculate this portion. So after calculating, we can have to be if I taking common x, so 72 minus 36x equals to 0. So either x equals to 0 or x equals to 2. Either x equals to 0 or x equals to 2. So from here you can find out, you can see that at x equals to 2 it will have the maximum value. At x equals to 2 it will have the maximum value. Again, how you will find out this particular fact, at x equals to 2 it will have the maximum value or not? Just you do the dv dash dx. If we do dv dash dx, we are getting it to be like ddx of, just a checking, I am doing just a checking, ddx of dv dx. So if we double derivate that, so it will come 72 minus 72x. Ultimately it will be there. And if you put the value at x equals to 0, d2 dx, just see the particular fact. At we have two critical points, x equals to 0 and x equals to 2. So at x equals to 0, so v double dash at x equals to 0, v double dash at x equals to 0 is 72, that is greater than 0, and v double dash at x equals to 2 is 72 minus 72 into 2, it is basically minus 72, so it is less than 0. So at v double dash is pointing out at 2 is less than 0, that's why at x equals to 2 the function will have the maximum value. It will have the maximum value. We have checked that from the double derivative. So find the value of x for which v is maximum. So the value of x is 2. We have found out this from the double derivative principle. Okay, now we have to justify the answer. To justify the answer, let me just draw a graph for you. I just want to justify my answer. So this is the graph, and somehow this is the graph is there. This is the graph. So this is the point 2. This is the point x equals to 2. Now if I take 2 point, this is x equals to 1 and another point x equals to 3, I just need to find out the dv dx at that particular point. So dv dx at x equals to 1 is, dv dx is, you can see 72x minus 36x square, so x equals to 1, it will be 72 minus 36, that is 36 greater than 0. So here we are having the positive slope, and again we are trying to calculate dv dx at x equals to 3. It is coming out to be 72 into 3 minus 36 into 9. So basically here 216 minus 324, so it is less than 0. So here we are having the negative slope. It means at particularly at x equals to 2 we have the highest order. So that's why the answer is justified. To justify the answer, you just need to take 2 points. One is below the critical point, another one is above the critical point, and you need to calculate the dv dx. Okay, so again I am recapping the particular part, that is find the value of x for which v is maximum. Okay, so to find the value of v is maximum, we have the first derivative in our hand. So if we calculate the first derivative to be 0, we are getting two critical points, one to be 0, x equals to 0, and another is x equals to 2. Now how we will find out whether in these 2 points which point is the maximum, which point will give us the maximum value? For that we need to check the double derivative. That's why I have taken the double derivative, that is v double dash. Now at x equals to 0, v double dash is greater than 0, and at x equals to 2, v double dash is less than 0. Always remember this fact. If v double dash is less than 0, at that particular point the function will have the, at that particular critical point the function will have the maximum value, and at x equals to 0 the function will have the minimum value. Okay, so this is the fact. Now find the maximum volume. This question is very easy. Find the maximum volume. To get the maximum volume, we need to have the particular value of the x for which the value will be maximum. So this is again a very simple question. So for E, we know that at x equals to 2, v is maximum. At x equals to 2, v is maximum. Okay, if we put x to be 0, then v is max. Now the formula of v in terms of x was, formula of v in terms of x was 36 x square minus 12 x cube. In the previous slide you can see that. Now so 36 into 2 square minus 12 into 2 cube, so it is basically 36 into 4 minus 12 into 8, so it is 144 minus 96, so it is 48. So the maximum volume is 48 and the unit is in written as centimeter. So 48 centimeter cube. So it is centimeter cube. Always try to put the limits in hand. So it is 48 centimeter cube. Okay. So in this way the complete problem is solved. Thank you for watching IB360. In next video the rest two problems will be solved. Thank you for watching. Welcome to IB360. In this video, the last two problems will be discussed. So the number 9 problem is the points A and B have position vectors -2, 4, -4 and 6, 8, 0 respectively. Point C has position vector -1, K, 0. Let O be the origin. Then find in terms of K, that is OA dot OB. So this is the first dot product and it is very easy part. We just need to multiply the I terms with I terms, J terms with J terms and K terms with K term. Okay. So for the first answer, we just for OA dot OB, we are just writing the portions. OA and OB, these are very easy vectors. So first one is OB not, this is OC. So OB and OC. Okay, so OA is -2, 4, -4 and OC is here. From here you can see OC is -1, K and 0. So just the equal terms or the equal positional terms will be multiplied. So this term will be multiplied with this and this with this and this with this. So we are getting -2 into -1 plus 4 into K plus -4 into 0. So we are getting 2 plus 4K. So OA dot OC equals to 2 plus 4K. Okay. Now the second question is A2 question. Second question is we have to find out OB dot OC. So OB dot OC. So accordingly the same way we will apply, that is 6, 8, 0 and dot -1, K and 0. So we are multiplying this with 6 into -1 plus 8 into K plus 0 into 0. So we are getting -6 plus 8K. So this is also done. So OB dot OC equals to -6 plus 8K. You just note down these two values because we will need that. Okay. Now given that angle AOC is equals to angle BOC, we have to show K equals to 1. So let me take the next slide. So here we found it to be 2 plus 4K and we found it to be -6 plus 8K. Now we need to do the next problem. Okay, so I am trying to write or trying to draw two identical angles, and here it is AOC and BOC equal. So AOC and BOC are equal. So from here we can obviously write this to the angles. From here we can obviously write, that is, if AOC is equals to BOC, then we can write cos of AOC is equals to cos of BOC. Now these are the vectors OB and OC and OA and OC. These are the vectors. So obviously we will use the cos formula for vector multiplication. Okay. So now cos of AOC, this is nothing but OA dot OC divided by mod of OA and mod of OC. So this is the formula. From here we are getting OA dot OC, the value is here. From here you have to write, that is 2 plus 4K divided by OA and OC. Do not give anything for OC, we will cancel it out. So cos of AOC, just follow all the lines that I am writing. So now mod of OA, it is nothing but the modulus or the normal value of the vector. So OA, so mod of OA will be, mod of OA, the magnitude will be root over -2 whole square root over minus 2 whole square plus 4 square plus 4 square. So it is coming out to be 4 plus 32 equals to root over 36. So here 2 plus 4k, it is equals to 6. 2 plus 4k divided by 6 OC mod. 6 OC mod. This is the value of cos AOC. Now we will find the value of cos BOC. So for cos BOC, see here, cos BOC, it is nothing but OB and OC, OB dot OC. Here, just see OB dot OC divided by mod of OB dot mod of OC. So that's why I have told you don't give anything for the OC part because it will be cancelled out. Okay. So now cos of BOC, this is equals to, now the value of OB and OC multiply dot product, it is like minus 6 plus 8k divided by OB. So modulus of OB again we need to find out. So modulus of OB, this is nothing but root over minus 6 whole square plus 8 square equals to root over 100 equals to 10. And one more thing, here it is coming out to be plus minus 6, but for distance and for values we cannot take the negative value. That's why we are taking the positive value. So that's why here also we are taking the positive value, and it is 10 into mod of OC. Now we have already written that cos AOC is equals to cos BOC. So obviously these two products are same, that is minus 6 plus 8k divided by 10 into mod of OC. This is equals to 2 plus 4k divided by 6 into mod of OC. So as OC is not equals to 0, we can cancel out OC from both the sides. So we are left with minus 36 plus here you can see minus 36 plus 48k equals to 20 plus 40k. So we are getting 8k equals to 56. So k equals to 7. So this part is proved, that is k equals to 7, it is proved. Now calculate the area of the triangle AOC. We will do it in the next slide. Okay, so it is proved. Now if it is proved, then the C vector, it is coming out to be 1, 7 and 0. Now we need to find out, calculate the area of triangle AOC. So if this is the triangle, here it is A, it is B, it is C, and I am joining these lines so that we can create a proper triangle. So we need to find out the area of this triangle. So for this we will need to use the sine formula. Okay, so area of triangle AOC is basically, I am writing first the formula. So this is the formula for half into OA into OC into sine of angle AOC. Now these are the magnitude, always remember these are the magnitude or the values we need to find out. So ultimately it is half OA mod dot OC mod, then sine AOC, and it is angle there. Now for OA and OC we need to find out the value. So OA we have already calculated, that is root over minus 2 whole square plus 4 square plus 4 square, and it was coming out to be root over 36 and equals to 6. So it is half into 6 into, now OC here, from this is the complete value of the vector. So from here we are getting minus 1 whole square plus 7 square equals to root 50 equals to, here we can write 25 into 2, and from here we can write it to be 5 root 2. So it is, the value of OC is 5 root 2. Now we need to find out sine angle AOC. So to find the value of the sine of this particular angle, we will use the normal Pythagorean formula for sine square theta plus cos square theta equals to 1. So we have cos with our hand. So for cos angle AOC, this is nothing but OA and OA dot OC divided by mod of OA dot mod of OC, and from here just OA dot OC we have in our hand Previously we have calculated OA dot OC, this to be 2 plus 4k. This we have already calculated 2 plus 4k, but here I am writing, see here, see here the part I am writing here, that is 2 plus 4k, it was equals to OA dot OC, but the value of the k is 7. So basically OA dot OC is equals to 2 plus 4 into 7. So it is 30. So 30 divided by OA, it is 6. So 6 into 5 root 2. So it is 1 by root 2. So cos AOC is equals to 1 by root 2. Now we know that sine square AOC plus cos square AOC is equals to 1. So sine square AOC plus 1 by root 2 is equals to 1. So sine AOC is equals to root over 1 minus 1 by, it will be 1 by 2. So because we are squaring this, so 1 by 2. So basically sine angle AOC it is coming to be 1 by root 2. So from here we are getting all the values. Now the for sine angle AOC the value is 1 by root 2. So root 2 gets cancelled. It is 3. So 15. So this is the value of the area. So it is 15 square unit. We can write just to give the unit here. So the calculate the area of AOC is 15 square unit. Okay. So in this way this problem is done. Now the next problem, the number 10 problem. So the problem is, let gx equals to p to the power x plus q. For x pq belongs to the real set and p greater than 1, the point a 0 comma a lies on the graph of g. Let fg equals to g inverse x. The point b lies on the graph of f and is the reflection of point a in the line y equals to x. So as it is reflection, write down the coordinates simply. You have understood, as it is the reflection, so B point basically is the reflection of A point. So if the coordinate of A are 0 comma A, then obviously it will be reflected here around y equals to x axis, y equals to x line. So it will be A comma 0. So this was the very simple question. The first part was the very simple question. Write down the coordinates of B. The coordinates of B are A comma 0, just the inverse of A, around y equals to x line. Okay, now the second part. The second part is given the line L1 is the tangent to the graph of f at B. Okay, now given that f dash a equals to 1 by ln p, we needed to find out if fx is given to be. From here you just see that is fx is given to be, it is given as g inverse of x. Now to find f dash x, we need to find the f dash x, but it is given that f dash x at b, f dash x at b, or like you can see, you can write it to be f dash x at x equals to a, it is given as f dash a equals to 1 by ln p. It is already given. So this particular thing is the gradient. This particular thing is the gradient. So the line L1 is the tangent. So the equation for the tangent line will be, it is nothing but y equals to mx plus c. Now the value of m is determined, m to be 1 by ln p. It is determined. So y equals to x by ln p plus c. Okay, so now we have, this is for the point b, and b point the coordinates are a comma 0. So basically to find the value of c, we can write 0 is equals to here a by ln p plus c. So we can write c equals to minus a by ln p. We can write this c equals to minus a by ln p. Now we can easily find out the equation of L1. So L1 equals to y equals to mx plus c. The value of m was, this is basically L1 equals to, so x by ln p minus a by ln p. But we need to find out in terms of x, p and q. Okay, so how we will find out the value of a? If we will find out from this equation. So see here, gx equals to p to the power x plus q, and the point a lies on this particular graph. So 0 comma a lies on this graph. So obviously a equals to p to the power 0 plus q after applying a 0 comma a in this particular graph. So we are having a equals to 1 plus q. So the equation of the line L1 is ax by ln p minus 1 plus q divided by ln p. So this is the equation of the tangent line in terms of x, p and q. So the second problem is also done. Now we are with the third problem. Okay, so let's discuss the third problem in a new page. So first, the third problem is also a very easy problem. You just need to have the proper knowledge about the graphs. So the third problem is the line L2 is tangent to the graph of G at A and has equation y equals to ln px plus q plus 1. The line L2 passes through the point minus 2 comma 2. The gradient of the normal to G at A is 1 by ln 1 by 3. Find the equation of L1 in terms of x. So this is the question. So for this particular question, let me give you one understanding from the graph. So let me just draw a particular small graph, and you will understand the fact from here. This is the graph. This is a small graph, and let's draw the particular thing. So here a typical graph I am drawing is something like this. So one tangential line can be this. This can be the tangential line. Here you can see this can be the tangential line. Okay, this is, if this is the tangential line, then the normal line must be in this way. It must be perpendicular. The normal line must be perpendicular. Okay, so here as I am drawing by my hand, so some small minor mistakes you can just avoid. So this is the normal line, so this particular angle will be 90 degrees. These two lines will be normal to each other. So if this is x-axis, this is y-axis, and this is my tangential line, and this is my normal line. Normal line is perpendicular to our tangent line. This particular angle is 90 degrees. Just assume that. Okay, so obviously the slope, this slope is ln p. From here you can get that L2 is tangent to the graph of G at A, and this particular point is A. This point is A, that is 0 comma A. This particular point is also given. Now slope is ln p. From here you can get, and for the normal line the slope is, it is also given, the slope is 1 by ln 1 by 3. So 1 by ln 1 by 3. So if two lines are parallel to each other, the tangent line and normal line is perpendicular to each other. So if both the lines are perpendicular to each other, then obviously the multiplication of slope will be minus 1. So slope of tangent into slope of normal is equals to minus 1. So from here we can write that is ln p into 1 by ln p into 1 by ln. See this particular thing very carefully. 1 by ln 1 by 3 equals to minus 1. So from here we are getting ln p equals to this particular part in this side. So minus 1 ln 1 by 3. So we can give minus 1 to the upper side. Ln p equals to ln 1 by 3 minus 1. So basically if we cancel out the logarithmic particular part, so p equals to 3. 1 by 3 inverse, it is basically nothing but 3. So p is equals to 3. The value of p is, we have found out. Now we also need to find out the value of q, because it is also needed. The value of q is also needed for us. So because in terms of x we need to find out the value of L1. So again the point, see the point, here I am writing, we need more space. The point minus 2 comma minus 2, it passes through the equation, it passes through it passes through y equals to ln p x plus q plus 1. So from here we can use this particular fact to find this answer. It is to be y equals to -2 equals to -2 into ln p plus q plus 1. So -2 ln p plus from here just -2 ln p plus q equals to -3. So from here we can find out q. Q is equals to nothing but from here you can write q, this is equals to just here, that is -2 will be +2, so 2 ln p minus 3, this is the value of q, 2 ln p minus 3. Now value of p is 3, so q equals to 2 ln 3 minus 3. This is the value of q. This is in bracket 2 ln 3 minus 3. Obviously you can also take this as a square there, like 2 ln 3 square, that is ln 9 minus 3. This can also be done. Now we have the equation of L1. Previously we have calculated here. Find the equation in terms of x and p. So the equation was L1 equals to the equation I am directly writing x by ln 3, because it was ln p, minus here I am writing that was 1 plus q, the formula if you remember. Okay, just I am writing the normal formula, then you will have a better understanding. So x by ln p minus 1 plus q divided by ln p. So this was the formula. So if we put the values of p and q from the above two equations, then we have L1 equals to x by the value of ln p is 3. So ln 3 minus the value of q is 2 ln 3 minus 3. So it is 1 plus 2 ln 3 and minus 3 divided by ln 3. So it is 2 ln 3 minus 2. 2 ln 3 minus 2 we can write. So x divided by ln 3 minus, it is ln 3 minus it a 1, this is 1 minus 3, so this will be 2 ln 3 minus 2 divided by ln 3. This is the equation of L1. Now you can also give 2 this power like ln 3 square, it can also be done. So in this way the value of L1 is in terms of x only. Here you can see only in terms of x we have found out the particular equation of L1. Okay, thank you for watching IB360. In next videos we will discuss the in other problems. Thank you.